What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Revolution. Today we're going to get back into our series, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and we're going to start out with Alliance Omega War. So I had the pleasure of completing in one Alliance Omega War this week. I'm going to explain this to you guys. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, fortunately we won. X-Force, the Alliance won, but unfortunately it was against Sigma, so I wasn't going to be very much help. I was thankful to just be able to even play, but it was surprising that we got Sigma as the main alliance. It did make for some very interesting gameplay. However, there was some problems inside there because I want to discuss those things inside here. I don't necessarily believe that there was a lot of ugly inside the game mode. If I had to say, the biggest ugliness about the game mode currently is the limitation on slots or time slots available for you to actually engage in the Omega War. Because it is a very fun mode, but the ugliness of it is that essentially by limiting the number of time slots and understanding that this is the beta, essentially by limiting the number of time slots in which you could compete is going to eliminate players not in the top 15 of the alliance to compete. If you kind of understand what I mean by that, essentially if you only have a limited amount of times to play and everybody's looking for those two rewards, you're going to be limited probably to your top 10, top 50, top 20 players who are going to be trying to get in, because you're basically going to try to facilitate those guys. Not to mention, since it's competitive and the rewards are so good, you basically get like 1,000 dimension badges, 725 squad XP, and like 100, I think it was like 100,000 gold for each run. You only can do it 2 times a day. You're basically going to make it so that way it's the only top of the alliance that basically can compete, since there's so few limited time slots. That would be the most ugliness of it. That would be the ugliest of it. The bad of it was literally the map felt way too tight. Like, I don't know if it was because of the camera angle, which there's only one, like seemingly one zoom inside this mode, and you are like, it is just in your face. So trying to navigate a 15-on-15 Omega War, which seems like it's a smaller map than even, you know, the Omega War that we're currently using, kind of feels very, I don't know, like it's just tight. It's just really, really tight. The camera becomes really, really tight, and it doesn't facilitate, you know, being able to like move around on a map in a way where you could coordinate where you should be going, other than using the HUD to the top left, other than using that. So it's just really, really weird. The alliance played a far weaker alliance, I believe, early in the day. I didn't get a chance to participate in that one, and they basically were like, it wasn't as much fun because they just wiped the floor with that alliance, in that one. It was just pretty easy. We had a pretty good back and forth inside this alliance. So yeah, so this brings it up into question, right? Like, so when you find an alliance and you have this happening where it's not going to be every time that we face off against Sigma, in most likelihood we're going to probably be facing off the multitudes of alliance that they could matchmake us with, but that's part of the bad as well. There doesn't really seem to be any matchmaking going on here. Overall, we still have a problem in this game, simply put, with matchmaking. It's even worse given the character imbalances in the game. Godslave did a video about one of the most broken imbalances going on right now with Captain Marvel and Spider-Man, which is probably triggering a lot of the reasons why people are switching over to the two, and dodge rate being converted, especially because in their ingenuity, you know, Netmarble devs over here from Marvel Future Revolution decided that they were going to place dodge rate on freaking battle badges and cards without giving any notion to the fact of the specializations and skill things that they've built. There doesn't really seem to be a head talking to the other head in terms of balancing there. Like, you're never going to end up with 100% balancing. There's always going to be a tier list, but when you only have 8 fucking characters in the game, 9 soon to come, it's not a good look to have this much imbalance. So it's really weird. Really weird. Now, I'm not the Alliance leader, so I couldn't see this, but Wolverthor is the leader of the X-Force Alliance. Hapson basically transitioned that over to him as he was dealing with some stuff. But from his saying, the system for invitations was just clunky overall. You were literally waiting 30 seconds between invitations. You literally had to deal with you only had 5 minutes to send out invitations, which is limiting already. Because imagine you have a pool of 50 players inside your alliance, and you're trying to figure out who's online, who's available, who you need to get in, who you don't have, who hasn't played, and stuff like that. Especially when, you know, like, that's one of the things I'll say for X-Force. They did try to make sure on Sunday that they put everybody that didn't get a chance to compete in on Sunday, and then they rotated, you know, the power top of the alliance to be competitive for one of the events. So, you know, I can't hate on them for that, and it's hard for me even alone to hate on, you know, being able to join in that mode anyways, because like most of you know, I basically switched my character over completely to PvE because I found PvP to be completely unrewarding and not a lot of fun. So it's really one of those weird things, because now I'm sitting inside this thing and I actually like the Omega War. So let's talk about the good of it, right? The good of it, it does feel like it deserves and needs coordination from your team, especially when you're battling off one of the top alliances in the team, in the game. So it feels very rewarding. It's a lot of fun to play, to have so many characters going in and going at each other, and you know that you're playing with your alliance. This is the part where the normal Omega War is missing. Knowing the people that you're playing with makes the game mode more fun. They really need to stick to that idea that people want to play with each other, and teaming up and pairing up and making those easier is a lot more fun than just running in with a bunch of randoms. Random pickup games, not so necessarily bad in a mode, in certain modes, but for a mode like this where the discrepancies are so great, there's going to require some skill off. Like, you might need some Doctor Stranges in here that might be able to cause confusion, but the imbalances in characters are going to really show inside here. You know, having Star-Lords and Doctor Stranges doesn't seem like the really hot move to do. I think they faced off one team that had like a whole host of Doctor Stranges, and they just wiped the floor with them. Especially with, like, you know, Godslave pointed out that one of the new meta changes in the game right now for Spider-Man and Captain Marvel to just abuse the hell out of dodge rate. So it's really interesting, because this mode really has me want to switch up characters, but I don't know, I don't think I will. But that's about all that was in there. You know, you can't really harp too bad on the good and the bad, the ugly of this, because there was a lot of good, there was some bad. I can't really say there was any ugly except for the time slots. The reason why I say is because I'm hoping to God Netmarble doesn't do what they typically do, where they fall into this habit of, you know, creating a mode that only is available to the top whales of the game. They've done it inside Marvel Future Fight, so it wouldn't surprise me here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace. By the way, hit that damn subscribe button. Peace.